All right, so today I want to talk about something that everyone goes through, but really no one seems to talk about, at least in our culture. And that is life after this life. So, why did I make this video? I made this video because there's a lot of fear, a lot of misunderstanding, a lot of resistance when people get to that stage in life, and really it can be a beautiful process. And I'm going to be sharing a little bit about what I know about that process, about that transition, and to kind of ease you or a loved one to ease you through this process and kind of give you kind of a more well-rounded view of kind of what happens at that time. So, first of all, just a little disclaimer, I have no idea what happens to you. No one really knows. And I think actually it's just a kind of a different experience for everyone. When you consider that we create our reality and everything, we do have the collective reality, but then, especially in that space, I think you can kind of create whatever you want. I have, from everything that I've learned through the thousands of people that I've worked with, people with near death experiences, mediumship experiences, uh, from what I can tell, even with like other lifetimes and stuff like that, taking people through the death process, I can tell that there is no hell. Okay, I know a lot. That's a big one that keeps people stuck here is that fear of judgment. There is no judgment. That's like a total human thing. Okay, there can be a hell if you think you deserve that. You can create that scenario, but once you realize you're creating it, the illusion kind of falls away and you return back to what you were. But for most people, it doesn't exist, okay? There is no judgment. There is like a life review, which is way different. It's instead of being judged for the things you did wrong or didn't do right, it's like, oh, could have done this better. Oh, I learned this from this. And like, it's really, there's no judgment in it. It's just kind of like parent teacher conference or something at the end of your life. Okay. So, that being said, I don't know exactly what happens to you, but I have a pretty good idea based on all the work that I've been doing. And there's a lot more similarities and differences. So, even with people on extremes, I've worked with atheists and nuns, and they all tell me the same information. A lot more similarities, a lot more threads of truth through all these things. So, either all these people are making it up, or there's some truth here. Okay, so I made this video to help people kind of ease the transition process. Okay, once you realize that this is just going into the next phase and you're not actually like dying per se, you're just transitioning into actually what you are the majority of the time. So it's a way easier to leave this world than it is to come into it. Maybe that's why babies cry all the time, but it's I'm talking to people going through this process. They say it's like as simple as breathing because you're just going back to your natural state. Okay, what keeps people stuck here is the fear, the resistance of not wanting to move on, the fear of judgment, the fear of going to hell. Like all those things keep people stuck. Okay, or even just like the shock or confusion of maybe how they died. So through this process, and I have a subsequent video that will guide you through part of this too. I hope to shed a little bit more light on this, and in terms of what this looks like as far as healing. So someone would say, "Hey Matt, why would someone come to you for healing? Okay, if they're at the end of life?" And you have to realize that life doesn't stop just because you leave here. All right. Yeah, things keep going, you keep learning, you keep growing, and why take stuff with you if you don't have to? Why take stuff with you that you have to come back and redo? Like you still have to learn it. So when you can process that early before you leave here, it makes the transition easier. You don't have to take it with you into the next experience, and you can heal it at this time. So I've heard lots of good feedback from people. One of the misconceptions even I had starting with in this healing part, healing does not mean curing. Okay, healing does not mean fixing. Healing is basically whatever the soul needs for it at that point. Okay, and maybe that is a smooth transition. Okay, we're not playing the hand of God here and like stopping death, but it is helping them to die with dignity, to die with grace, to make that transition into the next world. Okay. One of the ways to help with that is by creating a landscape. Okay, creating a place where you can go, someplace familiar. You can kind of think of this like creating like maybe a retirement home, like a second home. Okay, so what do you all want there? Okay, you can create your ideal environment there. You can put certain people there, maybe like pets or maybe certain loved ones that have passed on. They can be there, they can meet you there. Different angels, guides, really whatever you want. And you can create that space. If you can do that ahead of time, it eases that process when you actually do make that transition. And you don't have to wait till you're sick or actively dying to start doing this. You can start doing this right now. Okay, and kind of building that space so that you have a place to go to when you leave here. I work with a lot of people that have these energies and entities attached to them, these disincarnate souls, because they end up getting stuck here and not able to transition. So having this in place, make sure your soul kind of doesn't get stuck in this plane. And I will post a video, a guided process for that, and I will put the link right here. All right, we will see you on the next video, and thanks again for watching.